Hey everybody, Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com here. Let's talk about headphones. There are three basic types of headphones that you'll use in your studio, and I'm going to show you the two that I own. And you may think it's odd to own two different sets of headphones because you obviously can't wear both at the same time, but they have two very specific uses, and I love them a lot and wouldn't trade them. So I'm going to show those to you, and there are three basic types we're going to look at. The first one is a closed headphone, or what's called a closed circumaural headphone, as you can see here. These are the Sennheiser HD280 Pro headphones. And these are pretty standard. These are the first, probably the first nicer set of headphones that I got, and I've had them for years, and I really love them. And as you can see here, if we zoom in on the picture, these have these padded ear pads here that cup over your ears. And what that does is it's a closed design. So the sound that's inside these headphones, once they're on your head, doesn't escape, or it doesn't escape as easily as it would with other types of headphones. And the idea here is these are fantastic for tracking or any type of recording. The reason is, once you have these headphones on and over your ears, the sound from the headphones doesn't easily bleed out and get picked up by the microphone. You may have heard this when you're doing recording with a click track and you're recording something like acoustic guitar. And on the final note of the song, the musician plays that final chord and you're holding it out and just recording that final note, and you start to hear this little tick, 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 tick in the guitar track. The reason for that is the click track that's being played in the headphones is bleeding out of the headphones and getting picked up by the microphone in front of the guitar. And that's not ideal. It doesn't sound good, and it's hard to get rid of if you record it. One of the solutions for that is to get a good closed set of headphones. So here, the one I recommend and really like a lot are the Sennheiser HD280 Pros. They've been around forever. They're wonderful. They're actually really comfortable as well, and they really do a good job of closing the ear. Another option that a lot of people use, and you'll see in the studios a lot, is the Sony MDR 7506 or some variation of this. I don't like these as much, to be honest. As you can see, they've got the same basic design, but the pads on them don't cover the ear as well. They kind of sit on the ear as opposed to going around the ear, and as you can imagine, that doesn't keep the sound in quite as well. So I found that I get more bleed when I use those. But it's certainly, there's no right or wrong answer. These are the same price. The sound quality is good. I just think the HD280s are a little bit better. Now, what are uses of closed headphones? Well, like I mentioned, they're great for recording. So any recording that I do, these are the headphones that I use. Are they okay for mixing? Yes, you can certainly mix with these, but being closed, one of the drawbacks of having the signal enclosed inside the headphones is they don't have as good of a bass response as you can get out of other headphones. We'll talk about that in a second. I have mixed songs on these headphones. I've known engineers that do mixing on less expensive headphones like these, and they can do it okay. The problem is you just can't hear the low end usually as well, and there's not quite as much detail in these headphones. So you can do it. If you could only buy one set of headphones, obviously these are the ones to get because they're closed and they're good for recording and you can use them for mixing. Okay, the next type of headphone is a semi-open headphone. So this looks very similar to the ones we just looked at, and these are from AKG, the K240 Studio headphones. Great set of headphones. A lot of engineers use these, but as you can see, there's little holes here. So these aren't completely closed, meaning that if you have them on your ears, some of the sound escapes through these holes. Now, does that make it to where you can't use them for recording? No, you can still use them. You just have to keep in mind that there will be some bleed as the sound travels out these holes. The reason the holes are here and the reason these are semi-open, meaning they allow some of the sound to escape, is that allows for the frequency response of these headphones to be more natural. So with the sound not being trapped inside the headphones, it can extend the low frequencies a little bit more and the high frequencies a little more, and can just have a little more detail to them. And that's the idea behind it. Also, some folks they just simply don't like a closed headphone. As they put it on around their ears, it gets a little claustrophobic and they just don't like that. So that's certainly something to keep in mind. I don't own any semi-open headphones because, like I said, I like the closed ones for recording, and then the ones I like for mixing and more detail work are actually fully open headphones. But you should know about these. These are a good option, a good middle of the road, kind of a compromise between completely closed and completely open. Okay, finally, there are open headphones. And you'll see these just described as open or fully open. And these here in front of us are the HD650s from Sennheiser. As you can see, they are expensive, but they're not very expensive if you consider them in comparison to a decent set of studio monitors. You would probably quickly pay $300 to $500 for nice monitors. but you may be in a situation where you need headphones instead of monitors for mixing, and that's certainly an option. What's cool about these, as you can see, they are very open on the back. These completely open to the outside world. So that makes them horrible for recording, because as you're recording, they basically turn into little speakers that sit on your head. So all the sound that's coming out of your headphones would easily get picked up by the microphone. So I don't use these for recording, but these are wonderful for mixing and editing and doing any detail work. Because they're completely open, they do actually behave a lot like a set of speakers. So they've got a nice deep, like really deep bass response, deeper than any other headphones I've ever used, and they've got a really open top end to them. So you can hear the high frequencies, you can hear the detail, you can hear all of those things because of the open design. So the drawback, obviously you can't record, but the benefit is they sound a lot more like you'd want studio monitors to sound. So if you are in a situation where you can't mix using monitors, either you don't have room for them, your room isn't acoustically treated and it doesn't sound good to mix on them, or you're just in a situation where you need to mix on headphones, this is a great option. I've done a lot of mixing exclusively with these headphones. Now, mixing on headphones versus monitors, that's a whole discussion that we can have at a later date, but it's certainly not wrong to mix on headphones. Ideally, you'd mix in an acoustically treated room with good monitors and then check your mixes on headphones. But sometimes you just need to have a set of headphones. And this is a wonderful example. They're open, they're very detailed, and I've used them for almost a year now, and I love them. And there's lots of engineers out there who've done the same. So those are your three basic types of headphones. Hopefully I've cleared up any confusion you may have had and explained why you would want one over the other. And like I said, I own these and these. I happen to like Sennheiser. AKGs are fantastic too, and there's plenty of other headphones out there. What you will find is there are a lot of cheaper headphones. If we just look up headphones on Sweetwater's site, the popular ones are the Sonys and the AKGs, but as we go down here, you'll see there's plenty of cheap $30 headphones, and I usually just don't use these. If I need a bunch of headphones for a bunch of musicians, I might use these, but for headphones that have a decent sound quality, usually the $100 mark is where I'll start. So that's why I look at things like the HD280 Pros and the MDR 7506s for my recording headphones. So hopefully that helped. Thanks again for watching these videos. If you're a subscriber on YouTube, check out my website, homestudiocorner.com. You can check out a lot more articles and videos there, and sign up for my newsletter where you get lots of cool free stuff. And that's homestudiocorner.com. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next video.